Okay, second call. Welcome back, Margaret. As you're joining, as you're getting settled in, as we're getting ready to kind of start here, I want to hear, yeah, is how many calls have you been on? Is this your first live call? Have you been on them before? Wow, lots of second timers. Welcome back. So far, everyone. Oh, Beth, of course, has been on lots of calls. And this phone number here, this is your first call. Welcome. Carrie, of course. Welcome back. Good to see you. Many. Okay. So we've got a little bit of a smattering of Jade's lost count. So we host these live calls. We do these kind of throughout the month, and this is just an opportunity for us to share information. Usually we've got cool promos, which will tell you what we've got going on here in a minute. Gail, it's your first one. Welcome. Well, to kick it off, I do want to introduce myself. My name is Kate, and I'm a licensed esthetician. I've been with Anne Marie Skincare for over 7 years, and so I love getting to do this kind of like perfect marrying of like talking about skin and talking about the nuances of skin, and then talking about our products and talking about the ways our products are incredibly beneficial, effective, potent, active, all of that. I will also plug, and I'll kind of plug this throughout the call here, that right after this call, we do have a group consultation that's happening. And that is going to be a space that's a little broader as far as topics that we're going to get into. So usually on the consults, we get into building a routine and creating routines based on the needs of the group and all of that. So um, we'll share more about that here. But on this call, for all of you who've hopped on, we're going to be talking about a couple of our best sellers, and we've got a really cool promo going on. First, let me tell you what they are. So Anne Marie Skincare, we're coming up on our 17th anniversary, which you wouldn't know unless you knew, but like in the skincare world, really making it past 5 or 7 years is a pretty big feat. Making it past 10 is a pretty big deal, and then making it all the way to 17 is just a testament to, this mutual devotion that we have towards our customers and that they have towards their own health and clean products and all of that. So we're coming up on our 17th anniversary, but two products that we're talking about today are products that have been with us virtually since the beginning. So we're talking about the anti-aging serum, beautiful, and our anti-aging facial oil. And I'm going to invite Grace in to tell us what our promo is specific for these guys today, because we've got something cool going on.
Hi, everyone. I'm Grace. It's so lovely to see everybody. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the chat right now. For today only, when you purchase the anti-aging serum, either the 15 mil or the 30 mil, you can get the anti-aging facial oil for 30% off with the code ASC Besties. Please note that this offer does expire at midnight tonight, and you do need to add both products to your cart and then add the coupon code at checkout when it prompts you to. And I think that's about it. But if you have any questions at all, feel free to ask me in the chat, and I'm more than happy to help.
Thank you. And thank you for qualifying, Grace, that you do need to add them both to the cart. Sometimes that gets tricky with like promos and discounts on multiple products. Yay, yeah, happy 17 years. Our 17 years actually in August. So stay tuned because we go like above and beyond. We do all kinds of celebrations and promos and exciting events, but the 17th anniversary is coming up. But as Grace noted with the promo, to get the discount, you do want to add both of these to the cart and then apply the coupon code. And that's where you're going to get that. Sometimes that can be a little bit confusing. And we've got Grace live here. So if you're shopping while we're on the call, you can pop questions into the chat and she can help out. Something that's also really special with this promotion, and I'll actually tell you about the products here in a moment, is that the larger sizes are eligible. So, the anti-aging serum and the anti-aging facial oil are one of just a few products that we offer in multiple sizes. And we only do this, we only will have a larger size option. So here's the 15 mil, here's the 30 mil. When we have not just like, a short burst of the product being popular, but like a lot of data of a high purchase rate, a high repurchase rate, raving customer reviews, all of that. That then leads us to make this kind of more sustainable option, which is the larger size. And it's a little bit more cost effective. It's a little bit more eco-friendly, but the 30 milliliter sizes are available. So let's talk about what these are, because a lot of times in my duration with Anne Marie Skincare, because the names of these are so similar, sometimes, people can get it a little bit mixed up. Like, do I need both the anti-aging serum and the anti-aging facial oil? Surely they're doing more or less the same thing. They're very distinct products, actually. So the anti-aging serum, let's just start here. When we're kind of going through our basic routine, typically our routine is going to include our cleanser, our toner, which can vary. We've got several toning options. Join me for the consultation after or a toner focused call, and we can talk about those. And then you're using your serum. And the serum is a unique step. Serums tend to be nice and thin, and we like them to be nice and thin because we want them to absorb deeper into the skin. And I'll show you the consistency of the anti-aging serum. So we've got this nice kind of light body to it. It's more weight than just, pure water. One of the active ingredients in the anti-aging serum is hyaluronic acid, which if you're familiar with, any skincare lingo at all, hyaluronic acid is a deep hydrator. So for dry skin, for fine lines, for creasing, that hyaluronic acid is one that is pretty potent. But with it being this nice, beautiful, thin consistency, it's really supporting kind of the water layers of the lower layers of the skin. There's not much of a fat content to the anti-aging serum or really any of our serums. And so typically you will still need a moisturizer to support, the balance of that. But what the anti-aging serum is doing is it's really supporting, providing this nice, full, lush look with that hyaluronic acid. Another quality that's really unique to our serum here, the anti-aging serum, is we've got this gorgeous floral complex that we craft into this product. We've got rose, we've got Edelweiss, we've got Life Everlasting flower, and all of these are used to support and sustain very strong skin. So one of the things that I like, and one of the things that I think makes the anti-aging serum quite popular, is that hyaluronic acid does not have a long turnaround time. It's not a product that you have to use for months and months and months before you notice any difference. The hyaluronic acid is a very rich ingredient that doesn't take much time. Usually we get feedback within the first couple days. Sometimes it's the first week, but it's not super long that people notice the skin looking fuller, looking more vibrant, fine lines, looking a lot softer, things like that. And so that contributes to a lot of its popularity is that people notice pretty quickly big changes in the skin. Now, the anti-aging serum is different than the anti-aging facial oil. The anti-aging facial oil is an oil. So we with Anne Marie Skincare use our oils as our moisturizer. And I'll show you what this one looks like. It's gonna look like oil. So it's kind of rich, full feel. The anti-aging facial oil is our richest facial oil. It might be the richest moisturizer, period, even above the cream. So, what makes this different than a serum and why we recommend using both of them is that the serums typically are providing the support for the lower layers of the skin. This is where we get this kind of water support, very hydrating. This is where we can work on addressing things like fine lines. That floral complex helps to sustain very strong skin. The moisturizer, the oil, this is used to provide moisture, to support the upper barrier, and to support changing the skin kind of from top down. So we use in the anti-aging facial oil this beautiful, rich, golden organic jojoba as our anchor. So the jojoba, that is, one of our favorite oil options to use in moisturizers because it mimics skin's natural oil quality quite closely. The molecule size, the weight. So for somebody who's got very dry skin, jojoba is a rich support. Now, the way we craft our oils is we take our base oil. In this case, we've got our jojoba, and we are steeping into it beautiful herbs and seeds and florals to create this final product. Now, the anti-aging, that's got broccoli seed, it's got chia seed, it's got goji berry. It is really, really densely packed with nutrition to help to provide this just kind of nourishing skin support, this anti-aging support with the skin. The anti-aging facial oil is very ideal for skin that is very dry. It's very ideal for skin that is working on kind of softening creasing, softening fine lines. It tends to be really supportive for skin that gets that kind of dry textured feel or a dry textured look. And for everyone who uses it, whether they're noticing a significant difference, quickly with fine lines or not, they report the skin looking very healthy, like very full, very healthy, very vibrant. Both of these products, usually when I'm doing the consultations, which again, I'm going to plug, I've got a consultation that's starting right after this. I will recommend that people go check out the reviews for these because the reviews go back years and years and years and years. And you get a lot of honest feedback for how people have experienced the product. Sometimes people are reporting that, their fine lines were gone really quickly. Sometimes people are reporting that they didn't like it, but the overall reviews are out of this world, which is part of why we launched the larger sizes. So they are well loved for good reason. They're kind of classics. I'm curious, and I'd love to hear in the chat who has tried either of these before and which one have you tried? If you have, what were your thoughts on it? These are also the products that will come to you in the Clean Beauty Trial Kit. So if you have either found us through the Clean Beauty Trial Kit or you have um, gifted or been gifted the Clean Beauty Trial Kit, these two products come in that kit. And the reason is because these are very widely applicable. Most skin types are able to use that. Both of these without much, resistance. They tend to be pretty great for almost any skin type, with the exception of maybe someone who is really, really oily. But even then, the anti-aging serum would be quite good. So let me check out the chat here and see what's coming in. Oh, Barbara, let me answer your question. So Barbara's asked, what is the shelf life of the oil? So the shelf life of the oil is about 2 years. And when you get your product, you can look on the bottom of the bottle and there's going to be printed in yellow your expiration date. Let's see this one. Mine is expired. This is from 2025, but generally it's 2 years past its production date. So you might just double check sometimes when you get it, they were produced a year ago and you've got a year to use it. As long as you're using it pretty consistently, then we give you plenty of time to go through the product. Another note with, expiration dates and shelf lives is generally speaking, all of our products, we can extend the shelf life a little bit by storing products or excess products in the fridge. So, with us having this promo going on, if you buy the serum, you can get the oil at 30% off, and 30% is a pretty good discount. Especially if you're somebody who uses these products regularly, it's a great time to kind of cash in on that. But you could store excess in the fridge, and so that gives it a little bit more life. But let me come in and see who's using it. Okay, Karen's got a subscription for the anti-aging serum. Love. Uh-huh. Anti-aging eye cream. I actually, when I was getting ready today, I intentionally applied the anti-aging serum and the anti-aging facial oil, and I was like, I gotta do the trio. I gotta just do the eye cream. Now, the eye cream is not part of the promotion today, but I do want to just introduce it. This is another one that we've had for quite a long while. That is a classic that's just up there with the other two products, the anti-aging eye cream. Great, great, great for puffiness, great for creasing, great for drooping if you're drooping in the eye area. Um, yeah, just overall eye strength. So this is one that I recommend for everyone. Yeah, absolutely love the eye cream. Uh-huh. Okay, Chris has tried a couple. I'm not sure if she's seeing a difference yet. Use Pam's used both for years. I feel like both of these products are ones that like when you try them, even if you branch out a little bit, you kind of keep it around, you know? It's like a classic, your favorite pair of jeans kind of vibe. Like sure, some of the other styles are going to come in and out, but these ones are classics. And Barbara, yeah, the shelf life, it's 2 years past its production date. So if you're curious about what your product, your specific product's expiration date is, check the bottom of your bottle. It's going to tell you when that product is, at the end of its projected shelf life. Whitney's tried it in the kit. Love both. Use the serum all the time, but usually only the oil in the winter. Should I use both? So Margaret, what you might find, this is not uncommon. What Margaret has shared is that she uses the serum all the time. She uses the anti-aging serum, but she's only using the oil through the winter or at night. Typically times that we would use or pursue richer moisture. Generally, we do recommend a moisturizer all year long. Now, for your skin, if you're finding that the anti-aging facial oil is leaving you too oily, you might have better results with a lighter moisturizer. Something like yeah, the herbal facial oil for normal and combo skin. This has a similar formula and similar active ingredients to the anti-aging. This one starts with a grape seed though versus a jojoba, so it's not quite as heavy as the anti-aging is. So that, this might be your other option in the off season. I will always defer to you as your own skin guide. You know your body, I don't know your body. So if you're not using it and it feels fine, then I'm gonna trust you. But yeah, will also, that's the feedback that I have is usually if you're gonna use one, we want it to be the moisturizer. Okay, cool. Becky's tried them. She's used them for lots of years. Love it. Okay, so D Dina's having a similar experience where the oil feels a little bit rich for her. And this tracks. If your skin type is on the normal side, if your skin type even varies with season to season, especially in the summer where we're in the upper hemisphere, most of us, assumingly, are finding that the oil is on the rich side. You can opt for something lighter. Another thing that might help both Dina and Margaret is a toning mist. So if what you're finding is that when you're applying the oil, it feels like it's sitting on the skin and not really absorbing, and that's part of what's contributing to this feeling of feeling really oily, utilizing a toning mist well, we're talking about classics. The Neroli is one of our classics here. If you mist your skin before you apply both your serum and your oil, and I'm gonna do it just because I really just want to smell the neroli. That's so lovely. So misting the skin and then while skin is damp, apply the serum, and while skin is damp, apply the oil. That can help cut down on some of that shine and some of that weight. It can also help to really pull the moisturizer into the skin. That the way the oil and the water mix and don't mix, they like act as this vehicle getting that deeper into the skin. So anytime I'm working with somebody who's experiencing the oil feeling like it's sitting up towards the surface and not getting in, that's usually the tip that I at least start with is like, let's check out what that feels like. Um, Karen, can I discuss the use of this serum in addition to the wild fruit and the night serum? Okay. So when we're talking about serums, a lot of times what comes up is like, how do I integrate multiple? I really love, this particular one, but I want to make sure that I am using them the right way. So a basic routine for Anne Marie Skincare includes your cleanser, your toner, your serum, and your moisturizer. Typically, that serum position, we're only looking to use one serum in that spot. Now, with what you've described, Karen, you've got the anti-aging serum, you've got the wild fruit, and you've got the activated night serum. So the activated night is a pretty straightforward one. This one with that retinol alternative in it is only for evening use. So there's no question about when you're using this one. This one's in the evening. Now, the wild fruit and the anti-aging, these ones I would likely suggest alternating. And it can depend on what you're focusing on. If you're really wanting to brighten the skin, if you're working on fading dark spots, I definitely don't want you to mix these. You're going to dilute the brightening power of the wild fruit serum. But what you could do is you could also kind of multi-serum. So let's say you've got sun damage in your cheeks, you could use the wild fruit serum in the cheeks and the anti-aging where you've got fine lines. You could also alternate the anti-aging or frankly the wild fruit with the activated night at night. So if you've got a night where you're like, okay, the activated night, I'm feeling a little dry, I'm maybe feeling a little tender, I don't want to use that one, you might opt for the anti-aging of the wild fruit. It could also be something that's seasonal. So with sun damage, generally with the higher, more direct sun over the summer, a lot of times when folks are working on brightening, they'll prioritize that through summer months. And then when it starts to cool down a little bit, they might focus on like the deeper hydration or the kind of fine line support with the anti-aging. So um, basically, in short, a rotation is kind of probably be what's most ideal for these three serums for you here. Uh, Jean's been seduced by the Wild Alchemy line. I get it. The Wild Alchemy line is, yeah, we go above and beyond with the Wild Alchemy. It's not better than the classics. It is different though than the classics. So, um, okay, cool. Could I speak to, so Roxanne has shared she was a little concerned with the oil potentially clogging pores, but could I speak some more to that? Um, Oh, nice. So she's out. So she's looking to get a little bit more. So all of our products are non-comedogenic. We use oils that are very, very clean. And if you've been with the brand for a while, Anne Marie Skincare, we have a facial moisturizing cream now. This is just a year or two old, but formerly we only had oil. That was our form of moisture. And the reason we used oil as our form of moisture is because oil, when it's used in this really pure, kind of unadulterated form, the body recognizes this pretty quickly. So your skin, everyone's skin, even if it's less than you like, produces oil. And this is where we kind of maintain the whole barrier of our skin. And this is true for the entire body. Your arms have oil, your legs have oil. Um, as we age, that process can slow down. If we weren't dry before, we could feel drier now. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes folks, are maintained feeling oily kind of throughout their entire life. But yeah, the feel of it can be different. So when we're using an oil like a jojoba, like a grapeseed, like a hazelnut that hasn't had a lot of doctoring happen to it, then when it gets applied to the skin, it's pretty quickly integrated. There's this kind of biorecognizability that happens. Now, having said that, if I have, if I'm working with a customer who already has pretty oily skin and I'm trying to get them to use a richer oil, like the anti-aging facial oil, that is simply going to be too much moisture. Someone like that might experience breakouts. Someone like that might experience, clogged pores or when you kind of get like the nose feeling not quite blackheads, but you've got a little bit of darkness or larger pores. We'll call them sebum filaments. This can happen in the nose area. So it can happen, but it's not, for us, it's not as related to like just oil in general as much as it is like finding the right oil for your skin type. Now, there are oils that are out there. Coconut oil is a really good example of this, that some skin types can handle it, and some skin types, the molecule size is simply too large, and that will lead to clogged pores or breakouts or things like that. But for the oils that we use as our base oils of the facial oils, the richest we're going to be reaching for is jojoba, which is a perfect match for your skin's natural oils. So let's see. You guys are killing it with questions here. As you've got questions, yeah, just put them in the chat. I'm happy to keep talking about the products or showing, textures and things like that. Um, Oh, Amber, I love that. So I love hearing this, and we get this a lot. And this is a lot of times, this time of year especially, we'll get people who invest in the trial kit, and then we see them again around the holidays because they are recommending this to their friends or they're buying trial kits for their friends. But Amber shared that she just those tiny little samples got a lot of compliments on how good her skin looked. So that's lovely. Thank you for sharing that. Oh man. Yeah, Bridget's one of the first products. Randy likes the serum and the eye cream. Yeah, again, eye cream, not necessarily the central topic of the call, but it's a close periphery if you're talking about the anti-aging serum and the anti-aging facial oil. Not too far away is that anti-aging eye cream. Rejuvenating oil. Yeah, classics. Keep them in rotation. Oh, okay. So this is a common piece of feedback. Adriana has shared that the anti-aging facial oil has a strong scent and can it be diluted somehow? So yes, this comes up. When I am working with someone, where's the one I want? That one. When I'm working with someone who loves the look, they love the feel, they love the way their skin looks using the anti-aging facial oil, but the scent profile is a little intense for them, which makes sense. This is a potent scent. I don't know exactly know quite how to describe it. It's like it smells a lot like jojoba. It definitely smells herbal. I personally love it. This is one that yeah, I would love just the smell of this in a perfume or a body oil, but some people don't, and that's all, to each his own. But you can mix a little bit of this with this product. Mine's looking a little dirty here, but this is the herbal facial oil for sensitive skin. It is an unscented facial oil, which means that we've added no scent profile to it. It naturally has a little bit of an herbal scent, but it's very light. So depending on how much oil you typically use, you might do a half a pump of the anti-aging and a half a pump of the unscented. Adjust the ratio to what your needs are. But it's a great way to get the benefits of the anti-aging diluted a little bit while still using a potent anti-aging product. The herbal facial oil for sensitive skin is also very rich and also very supportive for softening fine lines and creasing. So typically that's what I recommend if somebody's really into the anti-aging facial oil but doesn't love the scent profile, is to cut it a little bit with that. Yeah, Pam shared she loves the scents of all of our products. I've been working on this project just to share an aside since we're doing well on time, where I've been going through Anne-Marie Skincare's YouTube and just watching some of our early videos. We've got some really early videos on there, but there's one where we're talking about kind of this I don't know, trio, this trifold, this trinity of like intention with our products. And one of them obviously is to be clean. One of them is to be effective. And then one of them is to be very aromatic and to kind of have this whole scent experience that becomes this ritual while you are using the products. And we have so nailed it. If you use pretty much anything, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of feedback. The scents are heavenly. Love the scents. Yeah, the scents are a big part of what we craft and what we create. And so, yeah. And with that, naturally, not every scent is for everybody. So somebody who loves the anti-aging facial oil, it's me. There's somebody out there who does not love the scent of the anti-aging facial oil, and that is okay. Claire has asked, can I address the differences between the products, the wild fruit serum, restorative facial oil, and the anti-aging? The restorative facial oil, we have a restorative facial cream and we have a restorative cleansing oil. So I'm going to speak to the cleansing oil since I wonder if that's what we're talking about. And the other was the wild fruit serum. Yeah, okay. So these two are both serums. These, as you're doing your routine, you're cleansing, you're toning, you're picking your serum. Maybe it's wild fruit, maybe it's anti-aging. You're using your moisturizer. If you love both of them, you might have one that's in the morning and one that's in the evening. The big differences. So the anti-aging serum, some of the big qualities of that are the fine line support and skin strengthening with the floral complex. and the rich hydration of the hyaluronic acid. So it tends to be this anti-aging serum that addresses a lot of people's needs. It's great for almost every skin type. It's this kind of balanced level of providing hydration. It's not super saturated. The wild fruit serum is quite similar and the consistency is very similar. I'll show you what the wild fruit serum looks like. So, a little bit more body to it, but it's not super significant. The big difference here is that the wild fruit serum is going to have brighteners in it. Smells awesome. Smells like plum. One of the ingredients is Kakadu plum. And the brighteners that we've got in there, we've got a vitamin C support via Kakadu plum. We've also got a couple targeted brighteners, Uva Ursi, that are working on fading dark spots. And so the wild fruit serum tends to be very directly supportive for sun damage, for sun texture or texture caused by sun damage. The wild fruit serum also has stem cells, which the anti-aging does not. So if you're really working on supporting a lifted look to the skin, stem cells are a very important kind of support in that. So the wild fruit serum, it tends to be like a broader sweep than the anti-aging, whereas the anti-aging is this more general anti-aging support. Hopefully that was clearer. And then the other inquiry, so the anti-aging facial oil and the restorative cleansing oil. I think that's what we're speaking to. Let me scroll down and see if there's more. Okay. So the restorative cleansing oil, I want to go back to that question, is a cleansing oil. So the design of this and the oils that are chosen for this, although they are very moisturizing, they aren't designed to stay on the skin. We don't want them to be left on the skin. Although it's not going to be harmful, it just is rich enough that it doesn't really absorb. It's not designed to act as a moisturizer. Although this is a great cleanser for someone who likes to either do a double cleanse and get a really deep cleansed feel, or someone who's quite dry. So this is when we're using that. The facial oil is a moisturizer. So we're applying this as our moisturizing step. It stays on the skin. We don't rinse this off, of course, until the morning or the evening. And this is helping to support the skin in that way. So that's where these are different. Ooh, and how do you add the boosters? Amazing question, Margaret. So our boosters, we have a set of three boosters called our concentrated boosting elixirs. They look like this. One is called Hydrate, and it's a concentrated delivery of hyaluronic acid. One is called Brighten, and this is a concentrated pure vitamin C. And the third is called Revitalize, and Revitalize is a retinol alternative. Now, these are boosters that we mix into either our serum or moisturizer. I tend to mix these into my serum. That's my preferred step, but it's not wrong if you are putting this into your moisturizer. So know that. But the anti-aging serum in particular is a great base for the boosters because this one is so kind of uh, a little more of a blank slate as far as how you might customize it. So if you're listening and you're listening to me talk about these other serums and you're like, oh my gosh, this is just too much info. I don't really care to keep track of all this. That's okay. You can have one serum, and that one serum we can tailor a little bit. So we take our serum, we cleanse, we tone, we'll do a pump or two of our serum, and then whichever booster we're opting for, maybe we want to add a little bit of hydration, we'll take a little bit of this, right, and do a couple pumps or a couple drops of the hydrate in it. Brighten is especially popular with the anti-aging serum because on its own, the anti-aging serum does not have a lot of brightening to it. So you can take the Brighten and mix a couple of drops of that into the anti-aging serum and create this skin brightener, working on sunspots, working on dark spots. It tailors what's going on with your routine a little bit further. And then likewise, If you aren't wanting a second serum, something like the activated night serum that has the retinol alternative, you can use the concentrated retinol alternative to kind of create your own night serum. So again, doing a drop or two or a pump or two of the serum into the palm of your hand, and then taking the Revitalize and doing anywhere from 1 to 3 drops into it. And just like you would with retinol, just like you would with your activated night serum, Revitalize gets used in the evening only. So we are not putting that on and then exposing ourselves directly to the sun. So keep that in mind as you're using that. Okay, beautiful. Okay, Amber's asked, is the rejuvenating facial oil better than the anti-aging for those of us with oily skin? Ooh, good question. I would actually recommend if you're truly oily, the restorative facial cream. It is a creamy consistency, but it has this nice quick absorption and a little bit of a flatter finish. It's not quite as dense, it's not quite as heavy as either the rejuvenating or the anti-aging. The rejuvenating is pretty akin to the anti-aging facial oil as far as moisture level. So if you are truly oily and really working on having, either less shine or less oil happening throughout the day, the restorative facial cream is going to be a little bit more supportive for that. Great questions here. Okay. I'm going to pause for a second because I do want to just, I guess, like make 2 announcements. We are going to have a group consultation that's happening right after this call. So as you're asking questions, if you've got more questions about cleansers, what cleanser's good for you, maybe some scrubs, maybe toners, Grace will pop the link in for the Zoom for that. That's going to start right after this one. And I'd love to have you hang out with me there and we'll get onto some other topics. The other thing is if you've joined since we've been talking, we are talking about our anti-aging serum and our anti-aging facial oil. Both of these are products that we have had for more or less the entire duration of our business, and we're coming up on our 17th anniversary. And we are doing a promo with those, which is if you are purchasing the anti-aging serum, you can take 30% off the anti-aging facial oil. And to redeem that, we've got a coupon code. Grace is popping it in the chat. You're going to add both of them to the cart and then apply the coupon code. So you do want to make sure that both of those products are in your cart, and then you can apply the coupon code, and that should take that off for you. And it is eligible for the 15 milliliter sizes and the 30 milliliter sizes. Okay, let's see. She likes to mix the anti-aging serum with hydrate and use the combo at night. Nice. Okay, Yukari's got a good system with the hydrate booster. So the hydrate is pretty 10 out of 10. Donna loves the natural scents. Me too. Yeah. If you're into scents, oh, dang, I don't have it on my desk. We just launched a hair and body mist. I won't spend too much time on it, but I'm kind of obsessed with it. It's a sweetgrass scent. And if you know anything about sweetgrass, the plant, it also has a lot of beautiful symbolism about the synergy of like humans and nature. And yeah, there's a lot of kind of, I guess, emotional qualities going on with it too. But the scent is awesome. So maybe, Grace, if you want to link the sweetgrass. Mine lives in my bathroom because I can't stop using it. So. Let's see what other questions we have here. If using facial oil and cream moisturizer, which goes on first? So I do this far more in the winter. I will mix the cream and I will mix the oil. That's how I put them on together, is I'll pump them into the palm of my hand and then layer them. Otherwise, I've tried both. I have applied the oil first and the cream over. And that works fine. I actually like doing the cream and the oil over the top of it quite well. I feel like you still get this really dewy, rich finish doing it that way. And the cream, it absorbs nice and quick. It's got this flatter finish, and so the textures of them tend to do well if you're doing the cream first and the oil over the top. But I have tried it the other way and I didn't think it was bad. So I guess my recommendation would be maybe explore, maybe try both and see if you like one better than the other. Like I said, I liked the cream first, but most of the time, if I'm doing both of them, I'm mixing them in my hand and then applying them to the skin. Um, yeah, the scents. Scents are a journey, that is for sure. Grace has got the coupon code details in here. And that code is ASC Besties because anti-aging facial oil and anti-aging serum go really well together. Let's see. Chris has a question here. So, which brightening products do you recommend over the summer? Does that mean we need more SPF products when we use brightening products? Well, okay, this is a layered question, and I'm going to speak to it in the best way I can answer with the time that I have. I do recommend SPF pretty much all the time. I'm recommending SPF most days. At Anne Marie Skincare, we do encourage getting direct sun exposure. So if you could do that in the morning, if it's not the most bright time of the day, that's more ideal. But otherwise, yeah, I want you to protect your skin. Now, the brightening products that we kind of have two forms. We have like a vitamin C or what's called a tyrosinase inhibitor as a brightener. If and that's one angle. We also have acids or exfoliants and that's another angle. So with the vitamin C, with the tyrosinase inhibitors, they're not as intense on the skin. You don't usually need SPF with the same priority that you would if you were using something like a good example is the Botanical Lactic Toner. So this is an evening toner that we apply that is great for brightening the skin. It's awesome. It's awesome for a lot of things, but specifically for brightening the skin. And with that one, the way that is exfoliating, it's pretty imperative that you're protecting the skin from the sun. So yeah, I think I'll leave it at that, depending on the form of brightening you're using, SPF might be a higher or lower priority, but generally speaking, using SPF is going to be pretty key for your brightening process overall. And brightening products that I recommend in the summer, there's not huge difference with what I would recommend in the summer over the winter, as long as you're using SPF. But some really good ones, the Brighten is one. You can get Brighten as a standalone booster, so this is what that looks like. Or Brighten comes in our set of three here in the middle. This is the same formula. So Brighten as a booster as a part of the set, or Brighten as a booster solo. Brighten uses a shelf-stable, pure vitamin C to work on evening out tone and texture on the skin. So that's a really nice one for the summer. These are boosters, and with the Brighten especially, please make sure you're mixing it into something. If you try to put it directly on the skin, it's a little too intense. It's got too much going on. So make sure that that's getting mixed into something else. Margaret, okay, only one booster at a time. So what you can do is you can mix them, but there's a little bit of a dance here. So let's talk about that. Hydrate can be mixed with either. Can be used in the morning, can be used in the evening. Brighten can be used with Hydrate, cannot be used with Revitalize. Brighten can be used in the morning. Brighten can be used in the evening. However, Revitalize can only be used in the evening and cannot be used with brightening. So what tends to happen is Brighten becomes our morning booster. Revitalize becomes our evening booster, right? So the reason we don't want you to mix these together, it's not that there's a crazy explosion, nothing, intense happens. They just both, the active ingredients kind of decrease the efficacy of each other. So they get a little less potent when you use them together. So don't bother. Don't waste your money doing that. Um, Great questions here. Okay, Emily, what happens if you're in the sun with brighteners? Uh, well, I mean, that's kind of, I think I might want more information about what you're wondering here. Because are you wondering whether if you go in the sun with brighteners, if it is, more intense than if you're going into the sun without brighteners? Not necessarily. But again, it's going to kind of come back to the form of brightening that we're looking at. Something like Brighten, if we're using that as the at the appropriate level, if you're not going super hard, if you're not doing more than 3 drops, if you're using that in your serum, if you're still doing like normal sun care, there's no increased potentiality of reaction from the sun um, than there would be if you were using just, your basic serum. If you're using something like our activated night serum and using that in conjunction with the botanical lactic toner, something that has kind of this acid or is exfoliating in a non-physical way, you are increasing the potentiality of just more sensitivity to the sun. Um, in general, with sun and sun damage and working on fading sun damage, sunscreen gets to be very imperative. And I think we have a call on our YouTube right now. This from a pretty recent live call that we did that was all about SPF being used in conjunction with active ingredients and what that looks like. And I'll shorten it for you. Basically, you want to use it when you already have sun damage and then you're exposing the skin to UV, that melanin is already prone to activation. And so it darkens really quickly, even if you've been fading it for a while, even if you've been working with it for a while. So sun protection, whether it's a sunblock, a hat, a window, whatever you're doing, gets to be very imperative when you are working on fading dark spots. So I will leave that at that. Cool, cool, cool. And yes, Grace has shared here. I'm like 10 minutes behind the chat. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys, while we go through this. But we do have our group consultation that's happening right after this call. So join us there. And of course, if you're watching this call at a later date, the promos that we've shared no longer applicable. The consultation, it's already happened. Don't bother trying to follow any links. Join us for another live call because we love getting to do these. So. Is it okay to use, so Karen's asking, the citrus stem cell serum both in the morning and at night? Yes. Yes, it is. The citrus stem cell is using, oh gosh, it's orange peel extract where we're getting the citrus stem cells. It does not have a pure vitamin C in it. The vitamin C that we are getting is gleaned through fruit, so it's not the same level of a concentration as something like Brighton. So I use the citrus stem cell in the morning all the time and absolutely love it. Yeah, okay, and then Grace has got our promo info again. She's responding to one thing. Oh yeah, only one booster at a time. Do you not mix? So you can mix them. The only ones you can't mix are the Brighten and the Revitalize. Hydrate can be mixed with either of them. And they, of course, all want to be mixed into something else. Could be your serum, could be your oil, could be your cream. I've got a coworker who likes to put them in her mask. For me, I'm like, if I'm going to put this on my skin, I want it to stay on the skin. So I like to put it in my serum or moisturizer, usually my serum, um, and go from there. Oh, our Love Hair and Body Mist is back. Okay, cool. Thank you for letting us know about that, Kimberly. Okay, Chris found this informative. So a lot of people have hopped on and we're coming up on the last 10-ish minutes of the call here. So I do just want to regroup with what we're talking about. We are talking about two Anne Marie skincare products that are basically the most classic of classic Anne Marie skincare products. If you've been with Anne Marie skincare for a while, you've probably tried them. They're the ones that we'll often send out in our trial kits or our like new kits or goodie bags or things like that. And that is the anti-aging serum and the anti-aging facial oil. And I have a fun story to tell you. This is relevant with the anti-aging facial oil. So years ago, pre-COVID, Anne Marie Skincare had an office in Berkeley. And we would, I don't live in California. I'm here in the Midwest. I'm actually in Kansas City, and I would go out about once a quarter and be in the office and, get to be part of those who are working at the home base. But we had I kid you not, like a gallon jug of the anti-aging facial oil that lived in the bathroom. And, we had all kinds of products. And if you've been with us for a long time, you might remember that these products used to have different packaging. They had this bright colored swirl on them. And in the bathroom at the Berkeley office, there was a giant gallon of the anti-aging facial oil. And so it was like as you washed your hands, if you wanted to put a little bit on, there was a shower there if you showered and wanted to put a little bit on, but a big, big, big baby lived there. So my relationship with the anti-aging facial oil is quite near and dear to my heart. I have lovely, lovely memories of it. Um, and also to share more information about skin types. I've been with Anne Marie Skincare for a little over 7 years, 7.5 years or so. And when I started with the brand, I had very oily skin and very breakout prone skin. And so at that point in time, the anti-aging facial oil was very rich. It was too rich for me. I did not have good luck. I did not have good results using the anti-aging facial oil. And the feel of it was too dense. And then as I have aged and as time has passed, my skin's naturally kind of dried a little bit. My skin's a little bit yeah, drier. Really, it's actually on the opposite end of the spectrum these days where it's on the dry side. And the anti-aging facial oil is one of my favorites. I do love, love, love the anti-aging facial oil. So, um, so anyway, fun stories about this. And I think I got on a tangent because of where I was going with this is because I wanted to share with those who have joined, if you haven't seen it before, that we do have a specific promo for these products. So if you purchase the anti-aging serum, you can get the anti-aging facial oil, which is a perfect pairing. You need both a serum and an oil at 30% off. And to do that, you do want to add them both to your cart and then apply the coupon code. And both sizes apply. So the 15 milliliter anti-aging serum, the 30, or excuse me, 50, no, 30 milliliter facial oil, both of the sizes. We just make that shorter. Small, big, both are eligible. Okay, let me come up here and see a couple questions that have come in. Oh, Margaret. Yeah, we do the consultations a couple times a week. So right now we're hosting them Wednesdays and Thursdays, Tuesdays. We are beginning next week, starting a live call series. And this one, the just let me just get into what that is. This next series is a series of kind of hot topics. And the first call next Tuesday is a call that I've labeled things your esthetician would tell you if she didn't want to hurt your feelings. And man, am I excited to say some of the things in there. So you can find more info about that on the events page on the site. You can RSVP. We'd love to have you in that. And we're just going to go through, all the things that I would tell you if I didn't want to hurt your feelings and be really real with stuff that we don't talk about a lot with products or, trying to make sales or something like that. And get into that. So that starts next Tuesday, and then it's every Tuesday after that. But consults are Wednesday and Thursday, and then I do host one-on-one consultations if you feel like you've got unique support, or I get a lot of folks who either have really, really unique or troubled skin, or people who have tried a lot of Anne Marie skincare products and are overwhelmed because they don't know what to use when. And those two are who tend to find me. I'm open to everybody, but usually those people need a little more support. Yeah, Carol, we had a little store. So the store was actually the front part of our office. You would walk in and, to the right, it was all of our products and you could try it and somebody was helping you and then you'd check out on this little iPad. And yes, it was a beautiful, beautiful space. So yes, we did used to have a Berkeley store. We no longer do. That's closed, but you can still find our products in different spas in Berkeley. Berkeley is kind of our home base, so a lot of our wholesalers still carry our products. Oh, thank you, Yukari. Yukari always loves these events. Amazing. Yeah, and Grace has shared the link for events that are coming up here in July. So um, we've got a few minutes left. We don't have to fill it, but if you've got questions, it's a great time to pop them in. But yeah, we host these live calls sprinkled throughout the month. We've got the live call series coming up consultations are happening. There are lots of opportunities for you to get great deals and lots of opportunities for you to get extra support in figuring out what is right for you here. Are you in detox market stores? I don't know what detox market is. I don't, is that a health food store that's maybe local? Um, because we could be, but it doesn't mean we necessarily are. Um, yeah. If you're curious if there are wholesalers near you, or if you're somebody who loves to get facials and wants to see somebody who carries Anne Marie Skincare, at the bottom of our site, you can click on what is it? What is the link? Find a shop near you or find a store near you. It's like towards the bottom where there's all those extra links, right? Like customer support, couriers, blah, blah, blah. But there's one that says find a store near you. And then you can go to that and see, who's in your area. Is there anybody who carries the products near you? Are there people who can do facials, whatever? And yeah, get some love, some TLC. So oh, skincare, hair, and makeup. I don't know, but I'm interested now, Margaret. Maybe we'll make a note of Detox Market and see if they're interested in us. With the size of our business, sometimes depending on certain stores, we are good fits and sometimes we are not. So, for example, Natural Grocers, if anyone's, familiar with Natural Grocers, love Natural Grocers. But we've kind of inquired mutually. They've looked into us and been like, would we want to be in their stores? And there's kind of a gap that like a leap we'd have to take to be producing enough that would then be able to sustain supplies in stores across the country. So we walk this line, Anne Marie Skincare walks this line of being like staying small enough that we are a small business and that we are creating products that uphold the quality that we are committed to and growing that we are exposed to, everyone who might be calling us in. So that's the dance that we do. What else? Any last questions here about the promo, about the facial oil, about the serum? All of that. With just a few minutes left here. Okay. I'm getting the vibe that we're maybe complete. Grace, if you want to share the link to the consult one more time. Once again, right after this call, I'm probably going to go get some water, but then here in a few minutes, we'll hop over there and we're doing a group skincare consultation. So we'll be talking about what's going on with your skin, what your needs are, and working to build a routine that is pretty ideal for you. So, yay. Thank you, Margaret. So we're going to go ahead and close out. Thank you, as always, for spending time with me this lovely little Thursday. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.